guys, John V from PhoneArena here. You're watching our video review of the LG G3 Vigor. LG already has an established flagship phone in the high-end space with its G3 smartphone. So now they're going to attack the entry-level space here in the US, and they're doing that with the LG G3 Vigor. Essentially what we have here is just a smaller, more compact version of the LG G3. That's not a bad thing because it's easier to handle with one hand, and it also retains most of the handset's qualities. So you have that thin film of metal in the back cover, so it gives it a nice attractive quality with its construction. You have things like the IR blaster, which converts it into a universal remote. You have the laser autofocus assist in the back, as well as the power and volume controls. And it even features a removable back cover, so you have access to its battery and micro SD card slot. Naturally, its compact size means that it's sporting a smaller size 5-inch 720p IPS LCD display. Now that might not be as impressive as the Quad HD screen of the LG G3, but for an entry-level device, it's very good. It's effective just because you have some pleasant and sharp-looking details. It exhibits some of the same display properties of the G3's panel, so you have pretty good brightness output. A little bit saturated with its color reproduction, but for the most part, it's a pretty high quality display. Normally these mini variants tend to be stripped out of several software features, but that's not the case here with the Vigor, just because it maintains pretty much the same set found with the LG G3. At the same time, it's running the same updated customized LG skin on top of Android 4.4.2 KitKat, which we saw already with the G3. So the UI interface is very crisp, clean, and modern, and it also has some notable features like the Q-Slide applications, which gives us a little bit of a multitasking element. You have the knock-on feature. You just double tap the screen to turn it on anytime, and you have also the knob code to give yourself another alternative form of unlocking the device. Just like many other entry-level Android phones out right now, the Vigor is powered by Qualcomm's 1.2 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 400 processor, coupled with 1 GB RAM and the Adreno 305 GPU. Now, for basic things, it suffices, but for more processor-intensive stuff, it really begins to slow down. Especially when you do a lot of multitasking with the Q-Slide applications, we tend to see a hitch with its performance then. Not surprisingly, it suffices enough for things like surfing the web and even multimedia consumption. Now with surfing the web, it has 4G LTE connectivity and decent navigational control, so it's very ideal for the occasion. The music player here is from LG and has a very nice, clean, and modern look to it. The single speaker in the rear of the phone manages to deliver 79.1 decibels of power, which is pretty loud. But despite the powerful tally, its quality sounds a little bit on the hollow side. And as far as video watching, it's a good experience with the display, but when you start using its multitasking element, we do notice a diminished performance. The camera here in the LG G3 Vigor is an 8-megapixel autofocus one, which features an LED flash, 1080p video recording, and the same laser autofocus that we first saw introduced with the G3. So it's very quick in that area. Now the camera app itself is very light when it comes to manual modes and shooting modes. So the only thing we have access here to are HDR and panoramic modes, and that is it. As far as the quality from the camera, we'd say it's average. It's good for an entry-level device. You get some good compositions, especially outdoors where there's a lot of lighting. Details are a little bit light and weak, and it appears even softer and more indistinct under lower lighting conditions, and even sometimes falls victim to some purple fringing and noise. We wouldn't necessarily say it's terrible when it comes to shooting 1080p videos, but at the same time, it's nothing really spectacular. It's just light on details again, and it has a very sensitive exposure adjustment, so it's pretty finicky or jumpy at times. Another thing that stands out is just its slow, continuous autofocus feature. We had an easy time using it for phone calls just because the earpiece itself is pretty strong in output, and voices are very clear and noise-free, and that also translates to the other end of the line. The battery inside of the Vigor is slightly larger than other comparable models in the entry-level segment. It's a 2540 milliamp hour one and delivers average results. It gets us by through an 8-hour work shift with little issue, and our very own battery benchmark test, it achieves a rating of 6 hours 35 minutes, which puts it in the average category. Here in the US, you can pick up the LG G3 Vigor through either AT&T or Sprint. If you're into saving a little bit more money out of the gate, you might want to stick with Sprint just because the pricing for the phone is a lot more inexpensive. $30 with a 2-year contract or $312 outright, in comparison to AT&T's $50 on-contract costs or $335 outright. Honestly, the on-contract pricing for the Vigor isn't that bad. You get a fair amount of value considering that it has the same design characteristics of the G3, as well as some of its software features and other secondary things like the IR blaster, the removable battery, and the micro SD card slot. Now, if you're looking to pick it up outright, we'd probably recommend going with the Moto G 2014 edition just because you're going to save a lot more money at $180 versus the over $300 cost you're going to need to fork out for the G3 Vigor. So if you guys want to learn more about the LG G3 Vigor, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. John V. Thanks for watching.